You might wonder why I'm filming a video with my breast pump on. And believe me, I'm not trying to be like sexy or even to like garner up views. I'm actually trying to do this because I'd like to try to take some of the stigma away from pumping. Because as a mom of 6 kids and I have an 8-month-old baby now and I have teenage boys in the house, I've come to realize how incredibly important it is to just be able to do all the things we all need to do when it comes to taking care of our babies in a comfortable way and not be embarrassed and not have to do them in private or with secrecy. Because I think it's really important to involve the baby in the life of the family. So I breastfeed Bracy, I pump often after I feed Bracy. My kids are totally used to this. They're in and out of my room. Sometimes they're even like, Mom, you forgot to turn your pump on. Or they're like, Mom, you don't seem to be getting a lot of milk right now. And I think that's better because I think it's better that they're part of the whole experience of taking care of a baby. So anyway, with all that said, this video offers some bits and pieces of advice when it comes to for how long you should pump. And I have some other videos on putting together the pump that advise when you should pump, but this video is about for how long should I pump. Okay, the general advice is that you should pump every 3 hours for 15 to 20 minutes or so. This is what was advised for me when I had my baby Bracy in the NICU. He was born 10 weeks premature. But I will tell you guys that this amount of pumping didn't work for me. It actually wasn't enough. I was not getting enough milk. And I was really upset about it and really stressed. And what I decided to do was to pump for a longer period of time on a very low setting. So I was pumping sometimes for as long as an hour, every 3 hours on a very, very low setting. Once my milk really started to kick in and I felt like I was getting a good enough amount of milk, I went down to half an hour. So anyway, but generally it is advised that you should pump when you're away from your baby every 3 hours for 15 to 20 minutes or so. When it comes to pumping in tandem with a baby that you're breastfeeding, so if you're following my advice that you put this, nifty hands-free bra on and you pump for just a few minutes after every breastfeeding session, you really don't have to do it for a long time. Just 5 to 10 minutes is a good idea. The goal in doing this is to continue to stimulate your breasts to produce milk, to equalize the amount you're asking each breast to produce, and to store up just a little bit of breast milk. You might get as little as 1 ounce or even less than that, but when you store this up over the course of a day, you'll have an amount at the end of the day that you can freeze, and that takes off a lot of stress. One more piece of advice, which I've given out in other videos. Sometimes you're away from your baby, you skip a feed, you get home, and you look at your clock and you realize, oh my Lord, my baby has to eat in, half an hour or in an hour, and you don't know what to do because you've basically missed a feed and you feel engorged. What I recommend in that circumstance is just to pump for a very few minutes just to take the edge off, like 5 minutes. Then feed your baby until your baby is awake, full, and rejecting more food. And then put your pump on again and drain your breasts. This is the best thing to do because you don't want to go way too long without nursing. This can cause blocked ducts, it can cause mastitis, it can cause engorgement, none of which you want to have. But on the other hand, you don't want to pump for half an hour and have no milk there for your baby when your baby's ready to eat. So anyway, those are just some pieces of advice when it comes to for how long to pump. Please check out my other videos on baby's first year. And thank you so much for watching, cloudmom.com.